Ambassador Singh, if I could just turn to you. We seem to be seeing a very different Indian reaction to what the United States has said compared to the way India reacted to what Justin Trudeau said in Canada. Is it partly because the United States has handled this in a slightly more sensitive manner, doing a lot of talking behind the scenes, whereas Justin Trudeau essentially just walked into Canadian Parliament and accused the Indian government of, assassinating Canadian citizens without producing any direct evidence of one sort or the other? Or is it also because of a different level of relationship between India and the US and India and Canada? Canada, of course, a country which continues to shelter a lot of anti-Indian extremists. How do you see the difference in the two reactions?
I think it's different because of the way Canada and the US have handled it. In the case of Canada, if you see the statements from the Indian side, no evidence has been shared with them so far. And the Canadian Prime Minister made a statement in Parliament, really, in a political sense, highlighting the issue. If they wanted to convey their concern, there are ways to do it. You raise it privately, you do leaks in the media. But for the Prime Minister of Canada to make a statement in Parliament was really raising the ante. So that was one. And if you see the US case from whatever has come out, it has been raised privately by the officials, by the leadership. There have been leaks to the media. The first leak was done to the Financial Times, not a US paper, a European paper, and then picked up by the US papers. And I think all this was done also because there was a formal indictment coming. And in the US system, once the investigations begin, they have to lead to a formal indictment. And when the formal indictment comes, it will all be in the public domain. So in the sense that ground was being prepared. And as Lisa indicated, I think both countries are working to ensure that it does not really impact the overall relationship. And India has also indicated that it set up a high-level committee which is going to look into it. But that having been said, one must note that at this stage, it is only an indictment. It's not a conviction.
Well, it's an important point. It's an indictment and not a conviction at that time. But Ambassador Singh, I just wanted to ask you that presumably if the United States has been sharing a lot of this information with India over the last few months, then the Indian authorities would have known that this is coming at a certain point, and therefore perhaps that would have influenced how they were reacting to the Canadian allegations also. Or was it the case, you think, that the US didn't share all of these details with India, and therefore India has been taken a bit by surprise by what's actually there in the indictment?
So I wouldn't know for a fact, because not all information is out in the public domain. But I think one can anticipate that I think in India, perhaps there would have been sense that more was coming. And I think with the kind of reaction that you saw from the Five Eyes partners, that, they're all coming in to support Canada. There were even hints at that time in the media that more information would be forthcoming on this.